All right, let's talk about a tiny, tiny error that trips up even the best writers out there. And don't worry, this is not going to be some boring grammar lesson. Nope. This is about one simple secret that's going to instantly make your writing sharper, clearer, and way more powerful. So, to get us started, I want you to take a look at this sentence. Read it out loud if you want. Something just feels off, right? Can you put your finger on exactly what it is? The list of action items are on the desk. It's a little clunky, isn't it? Believe it or not, this is an incredibly common mistake. And in just the next few minutes, I'm going to show you not only why it's wrong, but how you can spot it and fix it every single time. Okay, let's dive into the fix. The solution here is what I like to call the golden rule. It's actually a really simple but powerful principle. The best way to think about it is like this. In any sentence, you've got the subject and the verb, and they're basically dance partners. The subject is who or what is doing the thing, and the verb is the action itself. And just like dance partners, for the whole thing to look good, they have to be in sync. And that's it. That's the golden rule. Subject-verb agreement. It sounds technical, but all it means is a singular subject needs a singular verb. A plural subject needs a plural verb. They just have to agree. You know, one person does something, two people do something. It's all about making sure your message is crystal clear. So here you can see this basic idea in action. The researcher writes, one researcher. The researchers write, more than one. See the difference? Now here's the one slightly tricky part that you just have to lock into your brain. Singular verbs often end in S, but plural subjects often end in S. It feels a little backward, I know, but just remembering that is honestly half the battle. Okay, that golden rule seems simple enough, right? And it is, but of course, things get a little more interesting when sentences get more complicated. So let's look at the 3 most common traps that catch almost everyone out. All right, mistake number 1. This is by far the biggest reason people get this wrong. Our brains get completely tricked by all the extra words and descriptive phrases that get wedged between the real subject and its verb. So remember our mystery sentence from the beginning? Well, here's the correct version. It felt off because our brains saw the word items, which is plural, right before the verb, and we just automatically wanted to make the verb plural too. But the true subject of the sentence is the singular word list. The list is on the desk. So your job as a writer is to always find that true subject and just ignore all the distracting words in between. Okay, on to mistake number 2. What happens when you have more than one subject? You know, something like the manager and the team. Do you use a singular verb or a plural one? Well, it all comes down to one tiny little connecting word. It's a simple 2-part rule, really. First, if your subjects are joined by and, they basically act as one big team, so you almost always use a plural verb. For example, the manager and the team are meeting. Simple enough. But, and here's the twist, if they're joined by or nor, the verb just agrees with whichever subject is physically closest to it in the sentence. So you'd say, the manager or the team members are responsible. The verb are just matches the closest subject, which is members. All right, let's tackle our final common mistake. And this one involves some of the most common words in the entire English language, which also happen to be the trickiest for this rule. I'm talking about words like everybody, anyone, and each. Okay, this little chart here cuts right through all the confusion. I want you to just focus on that top row. Words like each, everyone, and nobody. They feel plural, right? Because they're talking about groups of people. But grammatically, they are always, and I mean always, treated as singular. Think of it as each one, or every single body. Here's a perfect example of that in action. Each of the employees has a unique login. Again, our brains see employees and want to say have, but the real subject isn't employees. The true subject is the word each. And since each is always singular, the verb has to be singular, has. All right, you ready for a quick pop quiz? Let's test this. Take a look at this sentence. Everybody in the stands were cheering. What do you think? Is that correct? Yes or no? Nope. If you said it was wrong, you absolutely nailed it. Remember the rule we just learned? Everybody is always singular. So it has to be everybody was cheering. It's one of those things, right? Once you see it, you just can't unsee it. So there you have it. We've covered the golden rule and the 3 biggest traps that people fall into. Now, let's pull this all together and lock it in so that getting this right becomes second nature, just something you do automatically and with total confidence. Honestly, it all just boils down to this simple 3-point checklist. Number 1, always find the true subject of your sentence. Number 2, learn to ignore all those distracting words that get stuck in between the subject and the verb. And number 3, just memorize that words like each, everybody, and anyone are always, always singular. If you can master these 3 things, you've mastered subject-verb agreement. It's that simple. And you might be thinking, why does this little thing even matter? Well, it's because clear writing reflects clear thinking. When your subjects and verbs are in agreement, your ideas just come across with so much more precision, more authority. It means your message lands exactly the way you intended it to, without any confusion. So I'm going to leave you with a final thought, or maybe a little warning. Now that you know this rule, you are going to start seeing this mistake everywhere. In emails, on websites, in the news, everywhere. So the real question isn't just about spotting it. It's about how you're going to use this knowledge to make your own writing, your own communication, even clearer and more impactful from here on out.